From the insight you got or the feedback you got from the different participants, what were the biggest shifts in their perspective that you were able to maybe bring to them through those retreats?
I think the importance of having people around you that care, people that share your value systems, um, you get addicted to that in those environments. And I'm not saying that you need 35 people around you all the time who share those value systems, but it's good. It's good to know those people exist. It's refreshing. And so that's, I think, the biggest thing that we were able to do is, hey, you can feel alone in fitness. Like if you're trying to think about nuance and context and you don't really like selling stuff. And so feeling alone is never fun. And so I think a lot of people left the retreats like, man, it was a recharge of their batteries. Like I'm not by my own. I care about, I really care about doing the right thing. I care about trying to find the truth. I know it's unattainable, but I want to try to, honor the research hierarchy and try to find these answers in the best way. And if we don't know, we don't know. And I'm not going to say that I do on the internet just for followers or just for sales. And so that can be a lonely place. And so I think just speaking from experience and so just having events where people can come together and they can have a shared struggle, it's powerful. And I hope that my plans to do another one in 2021. I don't know where or when, but it'll probably be like just a flash event. Like, oh, things look good to go. Let's prep for 2 weeks. Everybody gets up on stage and presents on a topic and let's get better together. And I'm sure we'll end up being able to do it towards the end of 2021. I hope.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. You talked about staying in the moment. What strategies have you developed over time to be able to balance out that constant, like you said, trying to look into the future, plan things ahead, do the work so that you can, kind of reap the benefits down the road, but at the same time, not getting caught up in the hamster wheel all the time? How do you stay in the moment?
Yeah. So I'm lucky in that my father is he's a Zen Buddhist. He's ordained in a Zen school. It's a Chogi school. It's a Korean school of Zen. And so I took my vows when I was 19 years old. And I'm 34 now. So I've been practicing meditation for 14 years. Not that amount of time is necessarily important. But I sit every day. And I think that practice is helpful in creating a gap. The other thing that I think is really, really helpful is unplugging. I think we don't really feel the tension and the ping pongness of the internet and especially of our social media, just scrolling those feeds. We don't really feel how much that affects us until we get out of that. And if you can take some extended time away, like 2 to 3 days a week, or even just 24 hours away from picking up your phone and really just paying attention to the environment around you, it can be really, really helpful. Because if you're constantly thinking about something someone said or some type of argument on the internet, you're probably not in the present moment. And thinking about those things from a professional standpoint is important, but you don't want to be that person who's thinking about them, 24/7. And maybe a little bit of that in the beginning, we talk about like the passion of this field. I remember I just love training. I just love lifting. I love learning about these things. I love learning about nutrition. And so when I was in my early 20s, like you couldn't get me off. It was like, I just had a bone and I was just going to chew on it as much as possible. But over time you realize like, it's not gonna, it's not the end of the world. I can unplug from this. I'm not going to miss anything. So this fear of missing out, oh man. And so pay attention. And I think this is really, really also important for coaches too. Like whenever I'm consulting with someone, like that's the only thing I'm doing. It's literally like if someone pays for my time, they get 100% of my attention. I'm listening. I'm there. And I'm trying to put be as present as possible to them and their situation. And so as coaches, I think that we can use technology, or technology can hinder us. And so if you never, just being there with another human is really, from a coaching standpoint, is potentially really, really powerful. And if you think about like coaches that are really good financially or business wise, they're probably really, really good at building relationships and communicating and connecting with other individuals. Or they're maybe not even the best programmer. They're not the best, biomechanics analyzer, but they're probably funny. They probably can hold the conversation. They look people in the eyes. They listen, actively listen to the other individual. And those are maybe the soft skills that we poo-poo in the fitness industry. But if you're asking why nobody cares about your velocity-based training techniques, and you got an empty gym, maybe look at, can you be a little bit more personable? But maybe not.
I want to come back on those relationships in a little bit. First of all, on that staying in the moment aspect of things, did you becoming a father change any of this? Did it accentuate it in any way?
Yeah, it made it way more important. Because you just watch. I have a. She's about to be 16 months old, a little daughter, and so our having a child definitely changed it. Like, it feels time is the currency. It's time is everything, and so it really made me think about what I want, where I wanted to be, not necessarily where I am in the world, but where I am in my every moment of the day. Like, am I present with her? Am I attuned to her? Am I helping my family as much as her? Am I just, consuming nonsense on the internet? So it made me be more diligent and more protective of my time. And then also more, just more intentional with what I was doing throughout the day. And so I think a lot of times we get into picking up our phone or consuming some type of content just because we don't want to be bored. And I think that that's a scapegoat. Like, there's probably something else that we might be able to do that might be more helpful. And if we can be more intentional with our time, and if we think about time as a finite resource, then we're potentially going to be more present. And so, yeah, she has made me think about how I interact with other individuals. I think all kids do that. How, like, legacies, things like that. Not that I'm trying to like change. I have any grandiose ideas that I'm going to necessarily change the world, but just what kind of strategies, what kind of thoughts do I leave others with when, and those are things that I feel are important. And she's definitely helped astronomically with those type of systems.
When you think of everything that you know about the human body, about psychology, about nutrition and training, what are the main things? Obviously, she's still little, but even then, what are the things from your background, your education, that you're trying to bring to her through being her dad?
One thing and one thing only, and that is modeling the behavior. That's it. She doesn't know. She can't even talk. So it's like, what am I? The only thing I can do from a nutritional standpoint is screw her up. Like, there's no reason for me to talk about anything like sugar, nonsense, anything like that. If she wants to learn, we can look at it from an educational standpoint, but that's not helpful. I think that kids, they don't have the prefrontal cortex system that adults have. If there's a button, they're going to want to push it. There's a reason they cry for ice cream. And so I think the biggest thing that we can do is lead from the front, and words don't necessarily matter. Just like practice what you preach and be there. And I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm 100% like keeping screen time under 2 hours when, it's something that'll keep her from crying or keep her from yelling. It's easy. I'm not not saying everybody has to be perfect, but those do everything that you can to model the behavior that you want this other individual to have. And then don't be judgy about other people. Don't, it's easy, like from a food perspective, from a fitness perspective, it's so easy just to be judgy of other people. Man, get off your high horse. We've all, we've all made bad decisions. We've all been overworked, overstressed. Give somebody the benefit of the doubt. Don't be a dick. And so I think if we want some nutrition, parenting, fitness advice, it's put your money where your mouth is, and do everything you can to be present with this other child, and be there for them, and don't be weird.
When you said, behavior and modeling the behavior, can you be a bit more specific? What are you trying to be around her? How are you trying to be, from whether it's a mood, whether it's how do you look at the world around you when you're talking to her about things? What are the specific things that you're doing to try and bring her the best that you can as a father?
We live on a farm. So we have 30 chickens. We have 9 ducks. She already ate a chicken we killed. She goes down almost every day, and it's getting cold now, but there's still carrots. So she goes in the garden, she picks a carrot, she eats something from the garden or the greenhouse every day. And so we walk around, we spend tons of time outside. She doesn't even care if it's cold. She just puts on her jacket and yells and runs around, and has a good time and sits down in puddles. And so I think those are the things that we can do. Like we're not inside on the TV eating ho-hos every day, all day. And not to say that someone might not need to happen for somebody in a certain situation. But these are opportunities that we've been able to create. These are things that we believe are important, and we're willing to sacrifice for those things. We have a community. We have my dad, her grandpa lives with us, and so she's seeing multiple generations in the same house, and she'll see death. She'll watch, like, that sounds real, but her grandpa's gonna die. What's her life like with him? What's our final 15 to 20 years with that individual like? And so we're trying to create a community and a way for her to potentially see that cycle. That sounds deep and morbid maybe for some people, but that's, if you think about, there's a Zen saying, like, what's the most beautiful thing in the world? It's a grandfather dying, a father dying, a son dying, or change that to a female version of that. And so that's essentially what we're trying to create, and just her being able to live in the present moment, and eat some vegetables and run around and have fun with, and yell at ducks.
Why do you think that death is such a taboo subject in society at large? I guess because, like you said, depending on where you are in the world, what culture you're a part of, but death is very much put forward as something that is absolutely natural, which it is, and beautiful as well in some respects. So why do you think in our society today we're so afraid of talking about it and mentioning it, and just facing the fact that it is ultimately where we're all going? There is no way of escaping this, and so we might as well just get comfortable with this as soon as possible.
I mean, we've made up fairy tales about death for a long time. Human beings have been scared about death for since probably the beginning of time, and we've made up stories to potentially deal with that unknown. So I don't think this is a new phenomenon. We just have new ways of dealing with it. Back in the day, when someone couldn't walk, they just, for the betterment of the tribe, you probably left them there. And so just the tight-knit nature of human groups, and I think that it kind of was just part of it. And we don't necessarily need to get into the morals of how different groups and hunter-gatherer societies dealt with death. But I think from a Zen perspective, one of the things that you want to do is, in what we train, is you meditate on your disintegrating corpse. And so, like, that's something that has haunted me since I was little. I've dreamt about my funeral over and over again. But that's also been helpful, because I thought I was going to die very early. And knock on wood, I don't really want to die. I want to stick around. But I think that we can't know, and so that unknown scares us. We always fear what we don't understand, and so why not just push that fear off? Why not just sequester it in nursing homes? And so we hopefully you can square off the lifespan curve, and you can die fast, which should be everybody's goal. You don't want to go slowly for a lot of money and a lot of suffering, but old age, sickness, and death is coming for us all, and we don't like to see it. We don't like to talk about it, but eventually it's going to be forced upon you, and whether you like it or not. And so you can be ready or you can be reactive. And as you might know from building a retreat center, I don't like to be reactive. I like to be somewhat prepared. And so I think that how you prepare is living in the present moment and doing everything you can to go through those times gracefully.
You mentioned Zen a couple times already. For those who are not aware, can you maybe talk about what it is? What is Zen philosophy? What does it entail? If you could kind of give it maybe a dumbed down version of it.
Yeah, Zen is a compendium of practices that allows you to potentially stay in the present moment. So Zazen being the main one, which would be sitting meditation. Buddhism is a religion. There's lots of different types of Buddhism, Indian, Chinese, Japanese. Zen itself is really the practice of sitting. And there's walking meditation, a good book if this is your first time hearing about meditation practice or Zen Buddhism. Zen Mind, Getter's Mind is a good one. It's Japanese based, so it's a little bit stricter. If you like rules, that might be the book for you. If you don't like rules, Thich Nhat Hanh's The Miracle of Mindfulness is also a good book for those just starting out. And eventually you'll probably want to go sit with other people. Books about Zen are not Zen. They're reading about Zen. Reading about Zen is not sitting. Reading about sitting is not sitting meditation. So eventually it's a lot like snatching or sprinting. You have to do the thing. And so those are same thing with Zen. You can read about it. That's fun, but reading about it is not doing it.